Thanks for that. Let's start again. Hope you're all having a good day. It's Friday, February 24th, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. I got about a half hour to stick around here and look over the charts with you. And we've got the bears in short-term control. And the question is, looking at the monthly and the weekly and the daily time frame, how significant is this bear control? How significant are the red flags that we are seeing? And I have to talk about the broader market a little bit first because it is absolutely relevant. And we have to watch the retracement size of this consolidation. We know in an ideal world, just like Bitcoin did, if the S&P 500 were going to be a healthy bull flag, the bulls want to hold that EMA 12 back test on the weekly time frame and then see continuation. Bitcoin already did it, but right now we're seeing a good bit of weakness in the broader market as we end the week. And things can change here. I'm watching this tightening range on the S&P 500. If it breaks bull into the close, we're going to close near the high of the day. And if it breaks bear, we're going to close at the low of the day. So those are obviously two very different sentiments heading into the weekend for crypto. So keeping an eye on that. You can see the daily candle is a pretty solid red candle. We were watching the megaphone on the S&P 500 futures, and we broke that bearish this morning, and we've just been trading sideways since then. Just a tightening hourly range right now. And we got the crypto stocks, Riot, showing relative weakness. Riot is at its low of the day. Riot has been weaker than the NASDAQ and weaker than Bitcoin over the last couple of hours. So keeping an eye out on that as well. And here's Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we're watching for the megaphone on Bitcoin. And again, I'm seeing more megaphones in the last week of trading than I've seen in a really long time. And so the megaphone here on the 12-hour time frame for Bitcoin, if it's going to form, would have us looking back down. I mean, we would need a lot of bear follow through to head back down to this support level, but having broken these short-term support levels on Bitcoin, 23.5 was a double bottom and then 23.3, where's our next support? We don't have much in this range. And so that opens things up a little bit in terms of bears gaining confidence. It's the biggest red candle we've seen on Bitcoin in a couple of weeks. And so we have a weekly bull flag confirming with zero follow through and a rejection from monthly EMA 12. And what is also notable is we have 4 days left in the month. So this monthly candle is going to close soon. And if we break 21.3, it's our monthly lower high being set. It's a rejection from monthly EMA 12, and then we would be looking at monthly consolidation being underway. So 21.3 is definitely the most important support from here at this point. But again, this is not what the bulls wanted to see as far as losing daily EMA 12, losing the higher lows. We've got a 12-hour downtrend that can be our guide. Next time we bounce, we can play the zoom out game right now, but we're testing the low, 22,950. We're about to break it, it looks like. We'll see. Clear 15-minute downtrend. If we break the 15-minute lower highs on a bull move, we zoom out and scout an hourly lower high. We're very oversold on the hourly. We're definitely due for an hourly oversold bounce shortly, but tons of space for the hourly lower high. Then we'll zoom out and scout a 4-hour lower high with 4-hour EMA 12 rejecting the price. I posted a chart this morning, I think it was this morning, saying on Twitter, we're either going to break 23.5, again, no profound statement here. We're either going to break 23.5 or we're going to break the 4-hour EMA 12. And that just tells me I only have two things I need to be watching. And in the short term, one of those two things are going to break. And obviously support broke, and it's on a lot of volume. There's a good amount of bear volume on this move down. And so we could say that the bears have full short-term control right now as we just broke the low and hit the lowest price of the day. So we're following MARA and Riot. Again, Riot was leading the way down. So Bitcoin hit its low of the day at 11 a.m. Riot hit its low of the day at 11 a.m. and then hit it again and then hit it again. So just a little bit of a clue there. Whoop, bulls are buying that dip. Wow, look at that. That was stops triggering. Someone just got liquidated. Let's see if that's on Binance as well. No. So someone on Coinbase just had some stop losses trigger because that was a big lower wick there. Let's zoom in. Let's go to the 5 second. So yeah, you can just see it's just one order there. So what happens when that happens is a lot of coins, either someone market sold right there, but it was probably a stop loss triggering, and then you got the arbitrage bots. How can we V-shape that quickly? The arbitrage bots just market buy. You know, the arbitrage bots recognize, hey, we're 1% lower than these other exchanges now. And so they just buy until we're back to the prices that are in line with those other exchanges. But a bear break. Again, we know where an hourly oversold bounce is due here sooner rather than later. I don't like that wick now. I'm going to Binance to chart it. But we'll look for an hourly bounce into an hourly lower high. That's the wrong coin. And we'll watch hourly EMA 12. And if the hourly RSI cools off and it's a weak bounce, then that keeps the bears confident and in control. So again, not surprising that the bear break that we just saw is not getting much follow through because again, the hourly RSI is down, just getting into the teens there. So bigger picture, bears have full short-term control. Nothing changes for me until bulls confirm a 4-hour uptrend. So that means it's not going to happen. It's going to take a long time to play out. We got to bounce for, you know, a few 4-hour candles. We got to top out. We got to form a 4-hour higher low and then a higher high. So that would pretty much have to develop most of the weekend if we're going to see that shift take place back to the bulls. So bulls have, again, it's a different mindset on different time frames. The bulls have a weekly uptrend. So it's a bullish uptrend on the weekly. There are definitely red flags for the bull break with no follow through, but we got downtrends on all the shorter term time frames. So definitely bearish in the short term until bulls prove otherwise. And that's how I've been treating the stock market this week. Every day is just, you know, I got a bear lean on the day until bulls give me a reason not to have a bear lean. And we haven't confirmed an hourly uptrend. You know, we had a bunch of big bounces this week in the broader market, but we never confirmed an hourly uptrend. So just staying with a bear lean until bulls give us a reason not to have a bear lean. The dominance chart is dropping down here, which shows us Bitcoin is leading the way down. So we were in a sideways range, which tells us not really anything is different between altcoins and Bitcoin. But now that this bear break is taking place on a red day, checking out the list here, we can see that we got a whole bunch of red out there. But the dominance chart dropping shows us that Bitcoin is dropping a bit faster than, certainly some altcoins are dropping faster, but ETH, again, 12-hour megaphone on watch, 12-hour downtrend, daily downtrend, little lower high, lower low there. So the bulls have to keep holding weekly EMA 12 if they're going to try and salvage this red flag. Again, bull break on the weekly with zero follow through is a red flag. So current drop, got a bounce attempt trying to take place. We can see Ethereum didn't hit a fresh low like Bitcoin just did. So that's part of the reason that dominance chart is dropping. But we got the hourly bounce shaping up now underway for ETH. And we're going to look for an hourly lower high. And we're going to watch EMA 12 resistance. And we'll see if the bulls can confirm an hourly uptrend to try and shift this short-term momentum. ETH BTC is holding this base of support. So this is absolutely worth watching pretty closely. This is an important level. The bulls need to confirm a daily uptrend if we're going to have confidence that this support level can continue to hold. And bigger picture, an important level. Again, the last thing that Ethereum bulls want to see is the lowest, I should say the weakest that Ethereum has been comparative to Bitcoin in 3 months. So trying to defend that level, just like LTC BTC defended its weekly level. I drew this last live stream saying the best case scenario for the bears would be a bounce here and then rolling over in a bear flag to break the double bottom. We'll see how that shapes up. OP is a lead bull, but it too now has a bull break with no follow through. Definitely nice bull volume. We're going to look for, looks like we just confirmed a 4-hour bull flag with no follow through. So let's see if we got a rising wedge forming with all these breaks with no follow through. Nah, I don't like a rising wedge. You could draw, you know, a little uptrend resistance line to be keeping an eye on, but let's see, maybe. Just a channel, a visual guide on that channel. Anything under 329 is just an hourly lower high on the bounce, but obviously OP has been standing out as a lead bull in a big way. The fact that we did just break that high, obviously not many names at all in crypto are breaking the high of their recent move up. So OP is a lead bull, and we're going to be watching for, let's see how the back burners have been going. So first 5-minute oversold conditions, they've been working. First 5-minute oversold here was the best time for a recent entry with a 10% plus move. Then we hit 5-minute oversold again here with a little double bottom. Not as notable, a little 3% bounce. Have we hit 15-minute oversold yet? No. So we can be keeping an eye out for 15-minute oversold conditions from here, as bulls will be looking for a 4-hour high or low next consolidation. It's not ideal. So if I'm looking for the ideal back burner, it would be not this. It's just too choppy of a candle to see the pullback and then the high and then, you know, an outside bar kind of candle. My ideal back burner is a 4-hour stair step move up. You lose the 4-hour stair steps, you pull back to EMA 12, and that's when you get 15-minute oversold conditions. So again, doesn't mean we won't bounce from 15-minute oversold conditions. It just means it's a lower degree of confidence. It's not the highest probability kind of bounce trade that I would be looking for. But for now, OP is a low, high, higher, low. We're scouting a 15-minute lower high or a 30-minute lower high, whatever time frame you prefer. And we're going to be watching this tightening range to tighten up for another few hours and then give us a break, you know, probably sometime within the next 6 hours or so. But watching for a lower high compared to 329, at least initially on this bounce. Still, no matter how you slice it, it's a lead bull compared to everything else. I mean, you just got to pull that up. It is the lone bull at the top, while everything else has a bunch of red. Sand, again, over the last live stream, we talked about the 2-day equilibriums that are shaping up in a lot of names. High, low, lower high, and it's all about 65 cents here. And again, the burden is on bulls to prove to us that a 2-day high or low is forming. So how does a trader go about playing this? An aggressive trader scales in a couple positions and puts their stop under 65. A more patient trader waits for a big enough 4-hour bounce to then say, that's bulls proving something to me. I'm going to try for the higher low. I'm going to use that low as a stop, saying that's either the 2-day high or low or I'm wrong. And then we have to confirm the 4-hour uptrend as the first indication that a 2-day high or low is forming. So Sand has this setup, Adam has this setup, but is a little bit weaker. We're a bit closer here. That support's coming into play. If Adam breaks this pattern bearish and doesn't form the high or low, it increases the probabilities that the other names are going to break bearish as well. Mana was another one. 61 cents coming back into the picture. Looks kind of like a head and shoulders here. And again, the biggest thing for me is, you know, I love the broader market as far as giving us clues to the crypto, but is this broader market weekly consolidation going to be healthy, or is it going to lead into monthly consolidation? Because again, we've got only a couple trading days in February left in stocks, 2 days left. So we're going to be closing right near the low of February's candle. And it won't take much to set the monthly lower high. Anything under 43.25 is a monthly lower high. There are two ways that this would play out once the monthly lower high is set. We're either going to head down to fresh fear lows, which puts Bitcoin 15,000 back on the table, or we're going to shape up this inverse head and shoulders that we're going to be watching for. And obviously, if the bulls can confirm a monthly uptrend, we would then have a monthly, weekly, daily uptrend. We would be closer to the all-time high than the fear low, and that would be a big confidence booster in the market. And I've talked about the dollar as well, where, you know, I know the dollar monthly bounce is inevitable, and it sure is shaping up. If the monthly dollar confirms a downtrend, that's going to be a big win for equities, crypto, commodity bulls. And this is like the big picture is just you can see it in the stars. This is going to dictate a lot for this year. Gold, I'm looking for a gold monthly high or low. If the dollar sets a monthly low or high, if the S&P 500 sets a monthly high or low, I'm looking for gold to set the monthly high or low. Can we confirm a monthly uptrend on gold and silver? All of these things are interwoven in terms of they're all going to obviously do things based on what they are all doing. If that makes any sense at all, it doesn't, but they're all interrelated. And so how this monthly shapes up, and I'm expecting it's going to continue to shape up through March and April, that's going to have huge implications on what we look for in the summer and the fall. So keeping a close eye on the dollar, the broader market, and Bitcoin. And right now, the broader market bulls need to form this weekly high or low as soon as possible to try and keep from setting a monthly lower high and to try and keep a weekly uptrend going. But not going to be showing up today in any meaningful way. Again, we can close up near the high of the day. That is still on the table. I've got a Tesla break-even short. Stop loss is over that high. I'm just going to let that play out. We're either going to close near the low of the day on Tesla, or I'm going to stop out, break even. Nice little 15-minute equilibrium. It was the lower high on the 15-minute that I was going for on that trade. All right, so that is where we stand. Bitcoin hourly bounce, likely sooner than later, but just looking for an hourly lower high to be the result of that bounce. So I'm now reading the chat room with you all. I got 12 minutes here. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for the likes. We've only got 46. Appreciate if you could jack those up a bit. Got a lot of videos coming out this weekend. I got a prop trading firm video. Lori's got an interview with an author video that we're putting out. We've got Jungle Funk Joey did that webinar yesterday about time frame analysis and trends. We're going to put that out in a week or so. So keep an eye out. Lots of content coming down the pipe. All right. Appreciate all the sound heads ups. You saved me a lot of frustration. Bitcoin relative strength compared to the NASDAQ. We had a 4-hour rising wedge that indicated the top. Whoops. So this 4-hour rising wedge marked the top of relative strength, and it's been nothing but relative weakness since then. Obviously, periods of relative strength mixed in, but more weakness than strength. And so what do we have here? We have a weekly bull break with 0 follow through. And so again, we're just, as long as we're in a 4-hour downtrend, I'm trying to find the clearest time frame. Let's go 12-hour. As long as we're in a 12-hour downtrend, the bears have control in the sense that Bitcoin is weaker than the broader market. So we'll keep an eye on the 12-hour lower highs as our guide on the correlation. What are some level up moments that took me from being a decent trader to a good trader to an excellent trader? 1, teaching other people. Biggest level up that I ever took in trading was interacting with other people, teaching them what I knew, because the questions that they asked caused me to dig deeper into my own subconscious and answer questions that I was not asking myself. Why did I do this? Well, I've got to be able to explain that, so I've got to really look under, peel back the layers of, I was looking at this and this and this, and just that kind of self-reflection is invaluable. So interacting with other people, teaching other people what I knew, obviously placing a stop loss on every trade allowed for me to stop taking huge steps back when I had a big mistake. Crypto trading helped me go to a pure price action mode of trading. That was a big level up. It also helped me find EMA 12. EMA 12 has had a huge impact on my profit since 2017. That's it. There's more, but that's it for the top of my head. Is it a good time to buy stocks with a 2 to 5 year time frame? So I have a longer term time frame. I've been buying in 2022, just dollar cost averaging into my IRA, and my time frame is decades, so it's definitely different. 2 year, you're pushing it. Anything, 2 years, a lot can happen. What if, if we confirm a 4-month downtrend on the S&P 500, then again, that's going to be, nothing's happened like this since 2008. So, and then, that can be 2 years to try and recover from that. So 2 years is a pretty short-term horizon as far as stocks are concerned. But if I wanted positions, I would be wanting monthly consolidation and looking for some entries on monthly consolidation. And obviously we need to then set the higher low and higher high. But you could also, make a couple entries on any monthly consolidation and then use that low as a stop. There's many different ways to go about it. It depends on, how important is that capital in the short term. Anytime someone's like, I got capital for a house, but I'm not buying it for 2 years, should I put it into the market? It's just like, oh man, that is so much. What about your peace of mind? If you're doing something like that, and obviously I don't know what you're doing, but someone has asked me that before. Can you imagine like how much stress you're going to bring onto yourself on a weekly basis? The market's big in red. Oh my goodness, am I about to lose 20% of my down payment on a house in 2 years? I thought this was going to be increasing my capital. It's just, you have to account for the emotional toll that some of these decisions can make based on, for me, I've got no stress whatsoever around the money that I'm putting into the market long term in 2022. And in monthly consolidation, I might add a little bit more. And that's again because I'm not going to touch this money till I'm 65. It's in my IRA. So there's zero stress around it. If we're not higher than now when I'm 65, there's a whole lot worse going on in the world than worrying about what my IRA money is at. So just keep in mind that the shorter term time frame, your horizon for long-term money in markets, the higher risk there is. Because the wave of 8% every year for however many decades, that's because you're zoomed out to decades. If you're zoomed in to little windows, there's definitely big periods of red mixed in there as well. Looked at OP, Link, got to keep an eye on the time. So Link's got a nice daily equilibrium. Let's see if the 12-hour is nice and clear as well. Yeah, I like the 12-hour. So bulls need an hourly uptrend. Nice bounce. Link's bounce is much better than Bitcoin. So I know Link BTC is bouncing. It was a big drop, stair-step drop, but it broke bull. So we need to top out wherever we do, confirm the hourly uptrend, and if we do, our 12-hour high or low is very likely going to be set. And then we just watch to see how this 12-hour equilibrium is going to break over the weekend, knowing that it can definitely tighten up through Saturday. If it breaks bull, we're right back up at the high. And if it breaks bear, then weekly consolidation is very likely going to be underway. And keeping in mind that Link is one of the weaker coins still. I mean, we haven't really done anything bigger picture. We've got these lower highs. If we don't break 948, it's just another longer term lower high. Just let's go to the 2-week time frame. So just upper wick, lower high, lower high. And if we don't break 948, it's just another lower high in this sideways, slightly downward sloping range. So bulls need to keep this move going. They did defend daily support there. But you got to break that equilibrium bullish to try and keep this momentum alive. Coin had earnings recently, so definitely a factor, but Coin and Riot doing very similar things. Close to stopping out of Tesla as the broader market bulls try and end on a strong note here. So they just had the 15-minute equilibrium break bull. And again, it's possible we close up at the high of the day. It won't be a huge win, bigger picture, but it'll at least be, we're not in free fall heading into the next week. What would I need to see to start considering the cycle lows are not in the risk markets? I would need to see consistent, I need bear volume. So look back here at this orange line here is the average, the 20-day average volume. And so here's SPY, this is high bear volume, high bear volume. Here we don't really have much high bear volume. So the more days that you see all major sectors at the lows together, the more days that you see high bear volume. We haven't really had many gap downs. We've had, maybe one gap down, 2 gap downs on this pullback, a couple gap downs. But the more gap downs, the more closes at the low of the day, the more high volume days, then the more confident bears become. Really what bears need to see is, again, I'm anticipating a weekly high or low in the broader market, but if we confirm a weekly downtrend, that's going to be a uh-oh moment for bulls. And for Bitcoin, again, if we break 21.3, I don't expect that we're going to just head right back down to 15, but that'll be monthly consolidation being underway. And again, you look at the monthly time frame or 2-month time frame, whatever time frame, the bear flag is on the table for Bitcoin. I need to see a move up to the mid to upper 30,000s to negate a bear flag. So if we start monthly consolidation from here, then the Bitcoin bulls really need the S&P 500 to be that monthly inverse head and shoulders. Because if it's not, then Bitcoin setting that monthly lower high, rejecting from EMA 12, is going to have us looking back down towards those lows fairly quickly. Natural gas is a potential hourly rising wedge I'm keeping an eye on. R's. I don't know what you're asking, Ocean. What is the average number of R's on my daymaker? Am I supposed to know what an R is? Risk or reward? Glad to hear. No Iglesias. My long-term holdings are in my IRA and in crypto. Long-term no-touch position. Checking in on Matic. So Matic is a weekly inside bar. I'd be on the 2-day time frame to just make things a little bit smoother. Anything above 113 is a 2-day higher low. And bulls need a 4-hour uptrend in their favor. Haven't seen a 4-hour uptrend since we topped out. So bulls need a 4-hour uptrend to try and shape up a 2-day higher low, keeping in mind that there's now a lot of space for a 2-day lower high to be the result of the next bounce. Pretty much a lot of these coins need a 4-hour uptrend to shape up to try and shake off this bear momentum that has been persistent all week. Yeah, risk and reward. So I always go, I'm usually aiming for 2 risk for 1 reward. But one of my trading styles is very often, I make an entry. I'll just use Tesla as an example because I just did it today. But I make an entry, which I just stopped out at break even. But I was looking at the 2-minute time frame, and I see this move here, which is a bull break of the current bounce high with 0 follow through. So I shorted it at 196.30 or whatever. If we hit a new high right from there, I'm going to exit real quickly. But I exit half of that position real quickly so that I can then put my stop above the current high risk-free. And so that means if this 15-minute equilibrium breaks bear, then I have a nice profitable position. And if I'm wrong and the equilibrium breaks bull like it did, I don't lose $1. So my risk and reward, I am ideally going for 2 to 1, but there are many scenarios where I exit a partial position very quickly and then just get risk-free based on something like an equilibrium pattern forming. All right, last question. Yep, I gotta go. Last question. 2 reward for 1 risk. What things did I see in myself to say, okay, I can trade for a living now? I made my first 100,000 in the markets. I was maybe like 20. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out my age. 25. Maybe 25. And it was just knowing, honestly, it was cannabis and just knowing, okay, the cannabis sector is completely underdeveloped. We don't have legalization. We don't have any legitimate companies. I've made 6 figures in penny stocks. We're going to have a legitimate, we're going to have a catalyst of legalization. We're going to have legitimate companies. And so I just knew, all this is yet to come, and I've already accomplished this. And that was the day where, I walked out in the kitchen and told my dad, I'm going to be a millionaire, and was just certain of it, based on what I had accomplished and the opportunities that I knew were still to come. And it hasn't played out the way that I thought it would in terms of cannabis legalization and all that, but there was a huge bull market in Canadian cannabis that, led to the most profitable stock trading gains that I've ever had. So it was on point in that regard. But it was just proving enough success to myself that I was getting it and understanding how to play the game, and then realizing how many more opportunities were still yet to come at that point. All right. Love you all. Do good things. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for the likes and the shares and the comments. And we will check back in early next week. Bulls are liking the fact that we're trying to close near the high of the day in the S&P 500. So getting that Bitcoin hourly bounce underway. And again, not surprising that the bear break lacked follow through. RSI was in the teens. Let's see how we respond to hourly EMA 12 resistance. At least the bulls have some positive momentum as opposed to closing at the low of the day in stocks, which has obviously some bearish momentum and some fear into the weekend. See you next time.